90% or March brown nymph. This is a very good all-year pattern for grayling and trout, but especially now in the early season in the UK when the March browns are hatching off, this is a great nymph to have when they're not maybe up on the surface. So I'll just get on with the tying. The hook is a Demmon DJS 350 jig hook. This is a size 14. The March brown is quite a big fly, so I would normally tie my nymphs in 16s or 18s, but with this one I usually tie it on 14s. It's a 3mm copper bead. I like copper for this one. I think it's a bit more natural looking. And I've got brown nano silk. So just lay your thread down. It's always good practice to put a bed of thread down before you start tying most of your flies. It also locks the bead in place. Now just any kind of very thin copper wire. I prefer Hends 0.14. I've found that it's the kind of perfect thickness. I've tried the slimmer wire, but I find it snaps awful easily. Just tie your wire. This is quite a simple fly, but it's very effective. This is what I would class as a real fishing fly. It doesn't take long to tie, looks great in the water, loads of movement and very natural looking. Just tie that in well and then bring your thread down. Now for this I'm using a dubbing from Troutline. It's called, this is really nice stuff, it's super spike natural dubbing. It's kind of squirrel, but it's got quite a bit of there's quite a bit of fluff, and it's very easy to dub on. So just, if you're struggling, you can use the touch dub with the wax, but I found with this particular dubbing it actually dubs on the hook, the thread really well. So just get yourself a nice thin rope and just start from the back and then just wind up, just trying to give yourself just a slight taper, and then wind your wire up 4 or 5 turns just to lock that in. As I say, it's a very simple pattern but very effective. If I was fishing it in a duo, I would probably go down to 2.5mm bead and a size 16. This will be a great point fly, especially in lower water. Now once you've done that, what we need to do now is put it's a partridge hackle. Now Lucy at Troutline, you can buy these packets, especially for the beginner, or if you're not going to be tying a lot of flies. He does these in packets and they're all already prepared, so you won't waste any, although they might be a wee bit more expensive than buying an actual skin, especially, as I say, if you're not tying an awful lot. So what you do, this is the way they come. They're already prepared with all the waste off them. So what you want to do is you need to create a tying in point. I like a lot of partridge on these flies. Gives a lot of movement. It is a big fly, whereas when you're maybe tying spiders you might want it a bit more sparse. So draw back the feathers like this, and then you want to cut and make a little V shape just as a tying in point. So you can see that there. So what you want to do is you always want the feather curving back the way, and then what that'll do is when you wind it on, that'll mean that the feathers are going back. So you just get your, sorry, this feather's not playing ball. Just trying to hold it over the camera, that's the problem. Right, so get your tying in tying in point, couple of good hard wraps, then get your hackle pliers, and then you can stroke the fibres back the way out the road, and then just take your time, don't pull it too or you'll snap the actual fibre. But you can see because of the way I had the feather, they're naturally going back the way. So just keep winding, because as you can see that's still pulling some feathers round, so don't stop, and then just come over the top, a couple of turns with the nano silk. That'll lock that in, then come in with your scissors, snip that away. Now you can either do this or not, but just get another touch of dubbing, just a very, very small touch, just ties everything in nicely. Hardly any at all, just about a turn and a half, if that. Draw your fibres back, and then I'll just finish everything off nicely. Then come in with your whip finish, if I can find it. It's a lovely mark feather as well. Whip finish, hold the head, pull it in tight, that'll lock everything in. You can put a dab of glue on, I don't bother. The nano silk is in that tight, I've never had any problem with them. And that's your March brown. So, and you can, if you want, you can bring the feathers forward. You see that, it's a lovely, loads of movement in that. It'll be pulsating in the water. Lovely natural fly, the March brown.